Hello everyone, my name is Philip. I am the founder and CEO of Synology, and welcome to Synology 2022. It's a great honor to be able to engage with all of you, even virtually. I founded Synology over 20 years ago when I had one simple idea to build a NAS that anyone could use, to store and share their data anytime and anywhere. At the time when I share the idea to friends, they laugh at it. They say, find the PC, installing Linux will do the job. Why bother? It was a frustrating moment, and it took me a few years to show that a purpose-built Synology NAS can be a lot more effective in managing our ever-growing data. Over the past few years, we have sold millions of Synology NAS. One reporter asked me, what is so special about Synology and Synology NAS? What is your secret sauce to success? Long story short, I would say it is because we invest heavily into innovations, from Quick Connect, Cloud Station, Synology Drive, Snapshot Replication, and many more, such as our Active Backup Suite. It is created because we wanted to provide you a complete backup restore tool that is pain-free and license-free. And we are always introducing new capabilities, such as our newly released Hybrid Share service. Connecting remote teams and sites together, we are helping business remove data silos. These are only a few examples of how we build a solution, hide the complexity, and make them easy and accessible. I'm very thankful and proud that we have invested so much into creating a strong team and a do-it-ourselves culture so that we can develop a solid ecosystem piece by piece from good to great, and in the future, one of the best. Please join me as we take you through our latest innovations. Thank you, and let us begin.
Hello, I'm Mike. It's great to be here talking about the solutions that we have worked so hard on. Now, everyone knows 2020 and 2021 were both exceptionally challenging years, and it was no different for Synology. The world has changed, with the shifts in workplace habits that, like it or not, are here to stay. Throughout this, we delivered our largest software update yet, DSM 7.0, just a few months ago. Underneath the 7.0 release is the cumulative efforts of all our teams focusing on three main pillars that define our products: performance, reliability, and security. We don't see 7.0 as just the newest or latest release, but a huge achievement in terms of everything below the surface. Let's just look at a few performance metrics. Searching over SMB connection is over 56 times faster than before. The time needed to launch an application has been reduced up to 70%, and straight up boosted RAID 6 array performance by up to 80%. And there are still many more performance improvements that all ultimately contribute to a better, more responsive user experience. Now, what good is all that performance if the system doesn't stay operational? As any good system administrator will let you know, proper maintenance with the procedures to do so are extremely important in maintaining availability and minimizing possible downtime. In DSM 7.0, we introduced several storage maintenance features that did just that. Starting with the new drive replacement features that did not degrade the system. We added a new option to enable automatic drive swap and repair. And finally, a new array rebuild option that only processes parts of the drive with data stored on it, massively increasing the efficiency for certain deployments. And we also completely overhauled our Synology high availability clusters. It's not only much faster in failovers or switchovers, but we also reduced the time needed for system upgrades, and therefore the amount of downtime needed by up to 80%. In terms of system and data security, we've been focusing on this for many years already. DSM 7.0 is one of the first releases that truly represents security by design, and it is much more than just a software stack. Even before development begins, we've implemented new tracking and auditing procedures to ensure proper source code control, in particular with open source projects. We've also restructured the way system services and packages work on DSM, minimizing potential attack vectors by reducing and limiting privileges. And a large amount of work went into modernizing the protocols used for authentication, encryption, and more, such as our new secure signing app, FIDO2 and U2F support for DSM. Our focus on security doesn't end with development either. Synology's Bounty program has been running for several years, attracting hundreds of researchers. All of this only make up part of the picture for 7.0, and based on what we've seen, it's one of the fastest adopted DSM releases yet. That brings us to, what's coming next? What is the next big thing for Synology and DSM? Our next update to the platform is 7.1, and while it is obviously not as massive, it is needless to say going to focus on improving several highly requested areas for our customers. First, large-scale management. It's important to provide clear statuses for each device, and even more importantly, all devices at once. We introduced Active Insight with DSM 7.0, our cloud-powered system status monitoring solution. In 7.1, we're making it much more powerful, with expanded information about system updates and the option to batch deploy them across sites. This makes it simpler to manage larger installations, which helps ensure more devices receive the latest security updates and features. We're also integrating smarter authentication systems to detect potentially suspicious attempts. Based on usage patterns, Active Insight is able to notify admins if something doesn't look right, such as unusual login locations and times, when an older user account suddenly becomes active, or about frequent login failures. Active Insight will suggest actions to take to try and minimize the impact of compromised credentials. And that's not all. We'll be introducing monitoring for hybrid backup tasks. This reduces the time and the work needed to manually check each device's or email notification. And in the future, we'll be expanding support to other apps, but with hybrid backup being one of the most important solutions for making offsite backups, we believe this would be a great addition to bring to the market as soon as possible. Next in DSM 7.1 is support for out-of-band management, which will provide our system administrators another method to access important logs and hardware power controls. DSM itself is designed to be robust and managed remotely, but devices with out-of-band ports will further reduce the need for IT teams to be physically on-site in order to perform simple tasks such as power recycling. Above all, it will assist in figuring out what might have gone wrong. Going forward, we will be incorporating this feature into expanded number of devices. Another important challenge in larger deployment is the actual management of file servers. For large businesses or more data-intensive teams, you might already be using multiple file servers, either for different purposes or to hit certain performance or capacity requirements. While it isn't difficult to simply connect to each server, wouldn't it be more convenient if you only need one address or one portal? DSM 7.1 will introduce support for combining multiple file servers into one portal with DFS support over SMB. And we'll also be introducing SMB multi-channel support, which will greatly speed up file transfer performance by leveraging all available network adapters. Now, let's move on to directory services and device backup. DSM can replace many essential IT services cost-effectively, while also reducing the manpower and the time needed. One of these is a user directory service with our Synology Directory Server package. Together with the 7.0, we added support for secondary domain controller for load balancing and increased availability. And now, in 7.1, we will be introducing support for adding read-only domain controllers. This can be an important way of securely deploying a local low-latency node, but in a way that reduces potential risk with it operated in a not as secure environment. Now, before I introduce our new backup feature for 7.1, let's take a look at the current backup solutions that are available on DSM. For backing up data on other devices into Synology, our suite of active backup and Synology Drive apps will take care of endpoints, servers, virtual machines, and SaaS solutions for you. To protect the data now residing on the Synology, Hybrid Backup and Snapshot Replications are the primary two apps that are used to securely backup and replicate data to a local or remote location. Hybrid backup is designed more as a traditional backup solution by packaging backups into compressed and deduplicated archives. Hybrid backup also does client-side AES-256 encryption, which makes it work great with cloud services. It also backs up specific system and package configurations, which are useful if you want to restore data and services onto a new Synology device. Snapshot replication differs by that it leverages snapshot using our BTRFS file system to create much faster point-in-time versions of your files and LUNs. This can then be restored much faster than hybrid backup. Extremely high snapshot frequencies and failover support can then be used to minimize RPOs and RTOs. Now, in DSM 7.1, we're adding what we're calling complete DSM backup, which provides bare metal level, comprehensive backup for the entire Synology system and all data stored on it. This is designed to address situations where admin wants to restore entire systems as quickly and with as little manual configuration as possible. DSM backup is designed to be fast, efficient, supporting many of the same backup technologies we're all used to seeing on other Synology apps. Of course, flexible scheduling, retention, and most importantly, recovery methods will be supported. Compared to hybrid backup, DSM backup is more comprehensive and enable near one-click restoration to fully replicate a device and its setting, plus data. Compared to migration assistant, there's no need for both devices to be available, which doesn't make much sense when you're doing a restoration, as that usually means something has gone wrong. With DSM backup, the entire platform now has a solution available that should fit any requirement. DSM 7.1 itself will introduce many significant platform improvements that enable us to better serve and support businesses of all sizes. But like I mentioned at the beginning, the modern workplace is changing, and today, teams are often working together remotely, meaning there is a need for innovative ways to work around data silos and bandwidth constraints. One new companion service we also introduced with the DSM 7.0 is Hybrid Share. Hybrid Share leverages our C2 cloud infrastructure to bridge together high-performance and easily usable on-prem storage with the scalability and flexibility of cloud services. Once created, Hybrid Share folders behave like any other, having the same SMB and Synology drive support, for example. But one key difference being that it is also securely stored on our C2 storage service. This provides several benefits. One being when they need to synchronize the data with multiple sites, they can do so quickly and save bandwidth as that becomes delegated to C2. Hybrid Share folders are also configured with a flexible local cache, with the rest being accessed on the fly. This means even devices with the lower capacities can access huge repositories. Altogether, Hybrid Share presents a new option to flexibly connect multiple sites together to the same pool of data in an efficient manner. Best of all, existing C2 Storage Advanced Plan subscribers can use any free storage space to create Hybrid Share folders at no additional cost. And Hybrid Share is also receiving many improvements, one of the most significant ones being the global file system. GFS tackles the problem when multiple people at different sites attempt to access the same file. Previously, this will result in a file conflict if everyone tried to overwrite the same file with their own edits, creating multiple copies afterwards. Hybrid Share can now lock files, even across different devices, ensuring that all teams know when a specific file is in use and can receive a notification when that file is not available. Under the hood, Hybrid Share is getting HTTP 3 support for improved performance and also a new cache warm-up feature. Instead of only fetching files that get requested, Hybrid Share has the option to preload frequently used files. Synology is already one of the leading providers of data storage and management solutions for businesses of up to several thousand employees. And while our existing solutions have been deployed to installations with more users, we're often asked, is Synology planning on introducing even higher-end devices? How about systems that can support tens or hundreds of petabytes? What is Synology's plan to address the ever-growing demands for performance and capacity? Today, I'm giving everyone a sneak peek into what we're currently exploring within our labs. It's no surprise that highly scalable storage solutions today are designed around scale-out concepts. Compared to traditional scale-up methods, scale-out has many benefits. These include increased service availability, scalability, and simpler management. For availability, one defining difference here is that scale-out solutions are built for redundancy at the node level, which we can think of as RAID, but for entire systems. When stored data based on the configuration we define, that data is then propagated and synchronously stored on multiple nodes. RPO, RTO is zero here when any node goes down, as all of it will be transparently handled by the system. The number of node failure allowed is configurable. The upside to this topology is that full system maintenance is completely non-disruptive. Servicing software or node-level hardware won't even affect in-process data transfers. To increase the capabilities and capacity of the entire system, additional nodes can be added in at any time. And there's no fundamental limit, unlike scale-up solutions, where we're often limited by specific hardware on a certain device, such as storage controllers. And finally, management can be simpler, as the entire cluster of storage nodes can all be managed together on one management interface, similar to how DSM can be managed and monitored through CMS and Active Insight. Scale-out is an exciting new field for us, and while we're still in the pathfinding stage, we can't wait to introduce our vision of it in the near future. Coming back to the present, the Synology ecosystem today is so much more than just storage, the operating system, but also the applications and services. And we, of course, expanded our key applications, most notably Synology Drive and Active Backup for Business. Over this past year, Synology Drive saw a 70% increase in the number of users. Synology Drive is one of the most used applications for file management and sharing across multiple platforms, and will soon be improving the mobile experience even further. With the redesigned Drive app, an improved mobile browser view for recipients of files you shared. And Active Backup, to date, has over 2.5 million users actively backing up their data. We have seen several deployments back up tens of thousands of Microsoft 365 accounts onto just one of our units. In Active Backup for Business, we've added new traffic management capabilities so that day-to-day operations aren't affected, even if there are multiple backups happening. And one more thing for both of these solutions. We're not able to introduce on-demand syncing for Mac OS on Synology Drive, finally, and also bare metal backup for Macs through Active Backup. This will bring more comprehensive coverage to enable IT deployments of all sizes and compositions to benefit from all our suite of apps. And that's not all. Synology's ecosystem extends out to more than just files and backups. Two of our more standalone product lines are video surveillance and wireless networking. I'll have my colleague Joanne to introduce our next generation solutions over there.
Thank you, Mike. Now that we covered our core advances in storage, let's take a brief look ahead at two other key solutions we create: video surveillance and wireless networking. Like with DSM, we have also been pushing the capabilities of Surveillance Station and added much requested functionality to Synology Router Manager, our wireless router operating system. Let's first take a look at Surveillance Station. Around 1/5 of Synology NAS users run Surveillance Stations on their devices, and many use their NAS only for security. In 2021, our solution served more than 2 million connected cameras and devices. Today, we present a redesigned 9.0 with a focus on easier large-scale deployment, better user experience, and enhanced protection against data breaches and data loss. Surveillance Station is designed to be a great solution, whether you're installing just a few cameras or professionally deploying hundreds of devices across different sites. In Surveillance Station 9.0, we are making such large-scale deployments faster than ever before. Our new IP camera wizard can now quickly link up hundreds of supported cameras in the span of minutes. Admins can import large batches of surveillance gears using spreadsheets, making migration faster and simpler. We have also made it easier to manage many Synology recording servers at once. An improved Surveillance Station CMS offers more powerful tools to keep all your recording servers up to date, even for completely offline installations. Surveillance Station 9.0 features a remap user interface that is designed for efficiency. How customers use Surveillance Station varies greatly. While some of our users may occasionally monitor their homes, whereas others may have warehouses or offices protected 24/7 by professional security teams. But all users need two core functions: to view camera streams in real time and to rewind footages when they need to follow up on an alert or event. In previous versions of Surveillance Stations, tracking earlier footage meant leaving the live view interface and opening the separated timeline app to rewind through recordings. In this upgrade, we're combining the application into a single monitor center, a much more powerful, flexible, and integrated tool. Now let's dive right in and see how it works. To start things off, we need to add a few cameras for our environment. These cameras were previously set up, so we use a spreadsheet to import all their credentials and settings. This method provides a fast and reliable way to deploy cameras around any site and to migrate existing cameras from other surveillance solutions. As you can see, it's all set up now, so let's pull up the new monitor view to create ourselves a security dashboard. We have kept a similar interface, but added flexibility and lots of built-in tools. This is far more powerful place from which to start protecting your assets. To accommodate our streams, we create a 3x3 layout. These feeds are from our company's office, so we can add a floor layout to show us what we are seeing and drag some of those new cameras onto the overview. Now, let's try find out why some of the previously added cameras are showing motion alerts. With the timeline function built into Monitor Center, we can just pull back the time and see what happened. That concludes our preview for this session. Surveillance Station 9.0 doesn't just focus on scalability and usability. In keeping with our overall focus on data security, this newest upgrade also delivers a boost in keeping your data private and safe. The 9.0 upgrade will allow you to encrypt surveillance footage with a separated key, making it much harder for the unauthorized to view or share sensitive images, even if they have administrative rights. This encryption at rest is joined by supported for secure network communications between HTTPS or SRTP-enabled IP cameras and your Synology NAS to ensure that no one can eavesdrop on your video feeds. Finally, together with Surveillance Station 9.0, we are launching a new service that will let users dramatically increase the resilience of setup in case of physical attacks or disaster at their premises. Dual recording to C2 surveillance minimizes any data loss to under 5 seconds, providing you with the evidence and footage you need following an event. Meanwhile, the footage is end-to-end encrypted, so only authorized personnel can access any stored videos. This new service comes with monthly plans starting from $1 per fee. With C2 surveillance, we're making it affordable to add an extra layer to protect their cameras. Now, just before we wrap up this section, there's a piece of hardware news we would like to share with you. With our deep video analytics and VR lines, we have steadily been introducing more AI-powered analytic tasks, such as facial recognition, mask detection, and more. Today, we're introducing the DVA1622, a smaller device that enables small businesses and even home users can benefit from the same smart features. The DVA1622 supports up to 16 cameras and 2 analytic tasks at any time. It will become available in the first half of 2022. Surveillance Station 9.0 is set to launch in the first quarter of next year. And as you have seen, it will allow users to set up and manage larger installation and more camera with the least effort yet. Everyone will be able to benefit from the improved security options, dual recording capabilities, and the refreshed user interface in this upgrade. Let's now move on to the advancements in our other major product lines of wireless networking. Synology made waves in 2015 when we launched our first ever Wi-Fi router, the RT1900AC. And we have since consistently added and improved on the software that comes with our network devices as part of Synology Router Manager. When the ongoing pandemic hit in 2020, Synology Router users are well prepared on the dual challenges of working from home and increased activities by malicious actors on the internet. We saw a jump of more than 200% the use of our security and remote connectivity related features. Throughout this year, we continue to add on the capabilities that keep you safely connected. In 2022, we're happy to announce major upgrades of our hardware, operating system, and mobile app. We will see the much anticipated launch of our new router, the Synology RT6600AX. With the RT6600AX, we are joining the Wi-Fi 6 era. The Wi-Fi 6 standards prepares your communication gear for a world of tomorrow, where our homes and offices are crowded with ever more connected IoT devices. Wi-Fi 6 helps make your network future-proof, allowing for more connection at the same time. Our router will be one of the first devices from the get-go to support the 5.9 GHz band, recently opened up by the US FCC. This creates much more room for devices in Wi-Fi heavy places. Also opens up the true 160 MHz channels for the ultra-fast devices. The way we use our devices and the unavoidable entrance of IoT products means that our highly connected environments need better security solutions that are also easier to implement. Synology Router Manager provides users a very powerful web filtering and parental control tools that can block out unknown malicious sites and content. But how do you check the search of actual devices on your network? What if you want to keep certain devices isolated from each other and also safe from the horizontal attacks? In SRM 1.3, we're introducing support for multiple networks, wire and wireless. This enables simple but powerful partitioning of your network. VLANs were among the most frequent inquiries we received over the past few years, and we understand why for many of our IT-savvy users, network separation is a priority. But how can we make this feature simple for everyone to use and help users to do so properly? In SRM 1.3, which will become available for all our routers next year, we have gone all out to provide powerful options for both regular and professional users. Most important, in our new support for the multi-Wi-Fi SSIDs, this feature allows you to set up separated wireless network for different purposes. It has always been possible to create a guest network, but now you could, for instance, set up dedicated IoT network where WPS, the option to connect at the push of a button, is enabled. Each network can also further be defined by physical ports on the routers and according to specific devices. So, if you have a PoE switch connected with multiple IP cameras or sensors, you could quickly map all these devices on one port to belong to a specific network. Now let's look at a use case to see how configuration works. Creating a network for surveillance cameras. Out of security considerations, network isolation is enabled by default on your products, meaning that unless you change this, no communication is allowed between your networks. This is great if your devices never need to communicate between networks. But if you want to cast files to your smart TV, share files, or link up to those IP cameras on your Synology NAS, you may want to bridge your different networks together. While doing this, you may wish to maintain separated policies. For example, enforcing automatic traffic limitations or parental controls. And to better secure communication between bridge networks, you can create one-way policy that allow only traffic that is initiated by one network to cross over to another. A quick demo will make it more clear on how it works. So let's say we want to connect those IP cameras to surveillance station. That means we need the NAS to communicate with the cameras, but we don't want the cameras to be able to reach by other devices. To make that happen, we can first create a new networks for the cameras. Let's open up Wi-Fi Connect in SRM and create a new wireless network. To keep it short, we name the network IPC. This will automatically create both a network and a Wi-Fi SSID. But it is possible to create networks without wireless access too. Now for configuration, let's head back to Network Center and select our newly created IPC network to perform some changes. First, we need to disable network isolation as our NAS is located on the primary network and it needs to connect to the cameras on our new network. Then let's assign port 4, which is connected to the switch with cameras, to the new network. This means that same rule will be applied whether the cameras are connected through Wi-Fi or the physical port. Next, let's hop over to the Security tab to open our firewall settings. Because we only want a one-way connection from the NAS to the cameras, we will create a rule between the networks, from the new network to the primary network. Now, with this new rule in place, only connections initiated from the primary network are allowed. This still allows the video streams to be set back to the NAS while blocking unwanted traffic. With SRM 1.3, it's that simple to create separate networks, giving you plenty of control while making sure the setup is simple for everyone. Last, we also want to share with you that we have completely overhauled how you do mobile management. A redesigned DS Router apps enables not only easy router setup, but also many advanced management functions directly from your phone, such as creating wireless networks, managing firewall rules, and safe access profiles, and much more. With DS Router, SRM 1.3, and the new RT6600AX, we're making it easier to build out secure and fast networks. From small-scale enthusiasts to enterprise deployments, in both wireless networking and video surveillance, we're pushing ahead to improve ease of use and introduce advanced functionalities. Most importantly, we will continue making sure that all our users have access to great solutions to protect their privacy and data security. And now let's get back to Mike.
Thank you, Joanne. As you've seen, we have a number of exciting developments that are happening for our on-premises and hybrid cloud solutions. DSM 7.1 and, for example, Surveillance Station 9.0 will be available just around the corner in the first half of 2022. Now, many of our existing users will also know that Synology isn't just about on-prem or even our NAS and routers. This year, we introduced a suite of cloud-powered solutions designed to address specific market challenges. I'll leave it to Chad to walk you through Synology's newest C2 solutions.
Hi, I'm Chad. Synology has been building private cloud solutions for the better part of 2 decades. Since Synology was established, we have aimed to make technology accessible to everyone, just like how we design our entire on-prem ecosystem. And it involves 2 parts. First, ease of use. Making services and product intuitive and accessible is crucial. Second, and the most important part, affordability. We believe all users share a majority of demands and concerns, and those shouldn't be limited by budget constraints. And this is why we are investing in cloud services. Now, I am extremely excited to introduce a major expansion to our C2 platform. All our new solutions are built using security-first principles with end-to-end encryption technology. It's aiming to solve real-world IT challenges by leveraging the base architectures, whether it's on-prem, hybrid, or cloud services. Let's start with C2 Backup. I believe no one is not familiar with ransomware by now. It attacks targets of all sizes. Study shows every 10 seconds there is a company that becomes the victim of ransomware. The infamous WannaCry campaign causes hundreds of thousands of computers to be infected globally. But even a few years after that, many still haven't done anything. We still hear of ransomware attacks every other day. And the key takeaway for many is that they don't have effective backups, usually because backup solutions are often too complicated to set up or too expensive for smaller businesses. And this is why C2 Backup can help. With C2 Backup, protecting your Windows PCs and many upcoming platforms is made extremely simple. The bare metal backup technology can easily protect all data, system settings, and external storage in one single backup task. You just need one backup task for all types of data, and it automatically avoids network rush hours across all devices. And by default, your computers will be backed up once a day. For the best part, restoring files or the entire device is simple. It's easy to jump across the timeline on the portal and pull individual files, folders, or create a recovery image to completely restore a PC. C2 Backup also covers third-party cloud services like Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace. This is because they usually don't provide native backups for your data. In fact, the default settings only protect data for 30 to 90 days on average. This can lead to a lot of complications when you believe their systems are protected and later find that items have disappeared. C2 Backup protects both on-premises and cloud workloads from a centralized and secure cloud platform. Synology has always advocated for strong privacy and security means, and it's a significant expectation from our customers. When designing C2 Backup, we employ end-to-end encryption to protect your data, meaning all uploaded data is completely private and only accessible to you using your private C2 encryption key. Without it, no one can read or access your data. And our pricing is completely transparent. You only need to purchase the storage capacity you need. That means there's no device or user limitations, and no additional license, and no hidden charges. While C2 Backup keeps business endpoint protected, what about managing them? We have a solution to do that. Using C2 Identity, the larger a business or team gets, the more important it is to have a centralized identity management service. Having one set of well-matched credentials to access everything you need is not only convenient, but also helps improve security. Since C2 Identity is primarily cloud-hosted, it provides extra flexibility that reduces integration issues with remote or online services that are caused by complexities with traditional on-premises solutions like Microsoft Active Directory. C2 Identity authenticates both on-premises and cloud-hosted services, including Synology NAS and any intranet services. It also manages Windows, Mac, and Linux devices to cover all IT requirements. Single sign-on support through standard SSO protocols also delivers streamlined authentication between your local or cloud apps. C2 Identity offers device management tools for connected Windows and Mac systems, helping IT teams define system policies, including screen lock timers, deploying software, or even initiating remote data wipes if the device is stolen. While traditional on-premises directory services are often locked to only allow local access, this isn't a concern for C2 Identity. Endpoint devices can connect securely to our C2 servers. Administrators can also deploy a local LDAP node through an existing Synology NAS or Docker container, which is useful for intranet services that are blocked off from direct internet access. This hybrid approach maximizes C2 Identity's flexibility without requiring IT to change their existing policies. C2 Identity adopt secure remote password protocols to prevent man-in-the-middle attacks, and also ensure our C2 server never store password equivalent data or secret during user authentication. Combined with other security by design functionality, we believe C2 Identity can help companies better manage their devices and user credentials while being easy to deploy and manage. And the same ideas carry over to C2 Transfer, which solve an often overlooked part of day-to-day business operations, file transfers. It's not often a problem transferring files that reside on internal systems or devices which companies have control over. But what about sharing and receiving files from external parties? It's fairly common for internal systems to have data protection policies that restrict sharing to only company accounts. And for your employees to get around this, it's like a walk in the park. Using personal emails, instant messaging, or public cloud services are commonly used to transfer files with external stakeholders. These solutions are not necessarily secure and can be a headache for IT teams to track and manage. C2 Transfer is designed specifically to solve these headaches. In contrast with standard sharing practices, we are also ensuring files are delivered to the correct person, even if the links are accidentally sent to the wrong one. Say we want to send a classified document to our partner on C2 Transfer, and we also want to add some watermarks to images. It can all be done in one place. C2 Transfer requires you to first input the receiver's email address or phone number, which will be used for identity verification. The file is then encrypted client-side and becomes ready to be securely shared. Now we can send this link in any way we want and let the recipient know that they need to verify their identity. As the recipient, once we do that and provide the authentication code, we gain access to the file. Even if the links are sent to the wrong person, this zero trust architecture makes it nearly impossible for them to gain access. And this also works in reverse. C2 Transfer makes requesting files just as easy and secure. We believe this service will be extremely useful for all types of industry that routinely handle personal information or sensitive files. So far, we've looked at protecting devices and services, managing users and devices, and securing external file transfers. Finally, let's look at solving the long-lasting problem of insecure and forgotten credentials found across all devices and web services. And our solution is C2 Password. As you can see, the issue of credential management is still a very big problem today. An average of 450,000 searches per month for forgot Google password and around 300,000 monthly searches for recovered Apple accounts. A major reason for this is because many services require increasingly complex passwords, and it's highly recommended to have a different password for each service, making it incredibly difficult to memorize each and every one of them. And this is where C2 Password shines. You can easily store your user credentials for all services. C2 Password is even your secure cloud storage for personal information like addresses, payment methods, and important documents. Now, let's take a look. I've saved something in my Amazon shopping cart. I've had my eye on this cool on-premises storage solution for a while. And let's go through the checkout process. Many sites can save your address and payment details, but C2 Password makes it easy to keep all of your information safely updated in a single place, which can then be filled in automatically by the browser extension. And that's how simple and effortless it is. And what about sensitive files you might need, like a scan of your ID card, passport, or bank statement? C2 Password incorporates file sharing capabilities similar to C2 Transfer, enabling you to securely store and share these documents with the right recipient. C2 password is also built with end-to-end encryption, meaning that only the devices you have and only with the C2 encryption key can you access your data. We hope more people can begin adopting stronger passwords and better security habits, which is why we are offering C2 password free for everyone. It also comes with a Plus plan, which allows sharing password between up to 6 family members. And the most important thing is, it'll just be $4.99 a year. $4.99 for a whole year for up to 6 family members. Isn't that exciting? Protecting your credentials and sensitive data has never been more accessible. And it will be available this month. Over the past 2 years, Synology C2 usage has grown tremendously. We have just expanded our capacities at both Seattle and Frankfurt data centers, and just launched a new location in Taipei. These 3 data centers can serve pretty much all users around the world, and also gives them the option to meet regulatory and security policies associated with data residency. And as a preview for what's coming next year, we are going to introduce C2 Object Storage, providing an S3 compliant interface for IT professionals to power their storage applications, gateways, and other platforms. It is a general-purpose object storage platform that can help IT reduce the complexity of a self-built system, but with more flexible storage capacity and less maintenance. We are making Synology C2 not just a platform that complements our leading on-premises systems, but also as powerful solutions that greatly expand the type of IT problems we can solve. And best of all, we're just getting started. Now, handing back to Philip.
Thank you for joining us today. From on-prem and to the cloud, you have seen how Synology continues to innovate and continue to empower you as our users. And we are still hungry, still foolish. We are building an even bigger ecosystem together with all of you. Again, thank you for joining us and see you next time.